Alright, part 2 is Dynamo, and in this part, we will create a simple Dynamo graph to automate the process of sending the information to our spreadsheet. There are lots of webinars and video tutorials on the web, and since we have limited time, and we still have 2 more software packages to look at, I'm not gonna explain in detail about Dynamo. I'll carry on building our script to demonstrate how the workflow works. Anyway, in the handout provided, I explained in detail how each nodes that we will be using in this part works. And I've also provided you some links for further reading. Alright, let's jump back to our Revit model. In Revit 2017, Dynamo can be accessed under Manage tab, Visual Programming Ribbon menu options, and select Dynamo. Whenever you have 2 or 3 versions of Dynamo installed, always select the latest version. And from here, we will create a new file. So on top, you will see the menu options. On the left side, you will see the library of nodes, and we have the workspace. There are 2 ways to add the nodes to the workspace. First, by right-clicking on the workspace and type the name of the node if you know the name. Or, the other way of adding node to the workspace is by using the library search box tool. Looking down to the lower left-hand corner, I suggest change this to manual mode. And don't forget to save your file. The first node we will add to our workspace is called Views. We will select the top one, all views available in the current document. And from here, we will select our first schedule, which is the PBI concrete floors. This is the reason why we've added PBI prefix, so we can easily find them when we come to this part. Next, we need a node called Schedule Get Calculated Values. Which you can get by downloading a package from Steam Nodes. If you don't have one installed yet, go to the packages, search for a package, and type Steam Nodes. And just click this icon here to install it onto your machine. Since I have it already installed, I ignore this one and continue building our script. So we'll connect our views to our view schedule list of our schedule get calculated values, and we need a string. I will avoid using code block in building our schedule so you can easily understand what are the nodes required. So connect that one, and this actually asking for the name of your get calculated values. So going back to the Revit, edit the fields, select that calculated value parameter, edit, copy the name, Ctrl C, close, and go back to the Dynamo. And paste it back here. Next, we need to create a list of information under the element weight by volume in kilogram column. For this, we will be using a node called list create. And connect the values to our list create input. Let's click run. If you carefully examine the result given to us from the list create node, they were arranged as a sublists of a list. Our aim is to have a single list only, and to do that, we need a node called flatten. Connect that, hit run, and you will notice we only have one list available. Next will be to sum up all these values from our list, and to do that, we need a node called matSum. Let's connect that. Click run. And by doing so, we receive a warning because the MathSum node is looking for a number input. The information that came from the flattened node were considered as string, and therefore we need to convert them first using string to number node. So we need string to number node. Connect that and connect this. Click run. Will give us the total calculated weight of our concrete floors in kilogram. So the next thing we need to do is to convert this from kilogram to tonnage. And to do that, we need a node called divide. Divide that sum x divided by y. So y could be a number, and that value will be 1000, converting kilogram to tonnage. So it's kilogram. Let's rename this to kilogram to tonnage. So it will be 5510218.889 kilogram divided by 1000 will give us a tonnage value. Click run, and this will be the tonnage equivalent. After that, select all the nodes, right click, and we will group them. And we will call this PBI concrete floors. Copy that. Control C, Control V. Change this to concrete columns. For the next one, don't forget to change the views to concrete columns. Copy that. Paste it back. And let's call this steel columns. Don't forget to update the views to steel columns. Next, copy, paste, and change this to concrete beams. Don't forget to update this to concrete beams. Or you can copy this and paste it back. Change this to steel beams. Update the views to steel beams. Copy, paste it back. We need the walls. Change this to PBI walls. And finally, we have the foundations. Change this to PBI foundations. Next, we are ready to push the data to our Excel file with the help of Excel Write to File node. The first one is the file path. Here we need a node called file path. Let's connect that, and let's go back to our spreadsheet. Let's save this one first. Let's say to my desktop for now. Right, so it's on the desktop. That one. Next is the sheet name, which is also looking for a string. This is the tab name on your Excel file. Go back to your Excel file, tab name, rename, copy, and paste it back here. Next is the start row followed by start column, where both are looking for an integer. Here we will be using number node to specify the cell location on your Excel spreadsheet where to write the data to. So we need number. We need 2 of these. This can be achieved by using code block, but I've said earlier I will not use code block. So going back to the Excel spreadsheet, we will begin at this cell here, which is row 0, row 1, which is row 1, column 1. So column 0, column 1, column 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So this will be row 2, column 2, column 1. Row 3, column 1. Row 4, column 1. Row 5, column 1. Row 6, column 1. And finally, row 7, column 1. Okay, so row 1, column 1. Save that file. Row 1, column 1. Next is the data input, which is looking for a data to write to the spreadsheet. In our case, this is the value after dividing the total sum of the calculated value by 1000. So we can just create a list. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. So from item 0 to item 6, we have 7. Connect that node to item 0. Connect this node to item 1. Item 2. Item 3. Item 4. Item 5. And item 6. And now we're ready to connect this as our data. The last one, you can keep it as a default one. So we're ready to hit run. I'll bring my Excel side by side so we can see both of them. I'll minimize my Revit. I'll open up my Excel. Minimize. Okay. So we're ready to hit run. And let's see what's gonna happen. Hit run. And that completes our spreadsheet. But if you will recall, we manually type in the element types one by one, which could potentially cause an error. If for whatever reason, the calculated weight value for your column goes to beams, for instance, why don't we automate the creation of element types as well? What do you think? Let's do it anyway, and by doing so, I'll be adding some new nodes. You don't have this in the handout because I decided to include this part when I did my trial presentation before coming to Singapore. Let's save this file, and I will create a new spreadsheet. Create a blank workbook, and this time, I will only provide the column header or title. Let's call this element types, and the weight in tonnage. Alright, so from going back to Dynamo, we will collect the name. So we need a name node. And we will take it from the views. And from here, let me just freeze this for the meantime. If we add a watch node, we'll be able to see what it will give us. Click run, and it gives us the PBI concrete floors, which matches the name of our schedule. I only want to see the concrete floors when it comes to our Power BI. So what I will do now is to get rid of these 4 characters in the front, and to do that we need a node called string remove. Our string is this one, and we need 2 number nodes here. Copy, Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V. So the start index will be starting from 0, and the number of characters to remove will be 1, 2, 3, 4, PBI and the hyphen. So this will be 4. If we add the watch node, so we can check what's giving us. Hit run. It gives us the concrete floors, which is the one that we wanted. After that, you can group them if you want. Select all the nodes and create a group. You can name it whatever you want. Let's just call it name. Name extract for now. You can name it whatever you want. Copy that. Let's move it somewhere. Let's maximize this one. Let's move it somewhere here. Copy that. Paste in. So it's going to be the next one. Concrete columns. Copy. Paste. The third one. Copy. Paste. Fourth one. Copy. Paste. With the fifth one. Copy paste. The sixth one. And finally the foundations. Can move this up. And we need to copy all of this node. So I need that to be my item 0 to match with my calculated value. I need that. I need this. It's basically we're connecting them to our list create node. Alright. So this time we still have this in the right start row and column, start column, but this one will be start row. If we open up Excel, will be row 0, row 1. So it's a row 1, that's right. And start column will be column 0, column 1, 2, and so on and so forth. So it's column 0. So it's row 1, column 0. I mean column, yeah, that's right. Row 1, column 0. This one is row 1, column 1. Okay, so column 0. And the file, let's save this as file, save as to my desktop for now. Let's call it new for now. Click save. Minimize this so we can see Dynamo and spreadsheet side by side. And from here, we are ready to hit run. Oh, before we hit run, let's make sure we are pointing to the right Excel spreadsheet. Let's check the top one. You should be using the one with the new in the file name. Make sure this one is not freeze. So row 1, column 0. Alright, it's fine. Check the other one. Row 1, column 1. Alright, and we're ready to hit run. Click run, and that gives us the element types and the equivalent tonnage using Dynamo. And that concludes our part 2.